Hi, I'm Andy Walker. Welcome to Digital Farm TV Rural News. The results of Dairy Poll 2012 are in. 60% of total votes were in favour of an increase in the dairy service levy, with 54% voting for a lift of 10%.
I voted in favour of an increase of 10%, and I believe it was necessary. Sometimes it's never enough, but it was interesting to note that about 6% of the people that voted in the polls voted for 15%. But so there are people that do believe we should invest more in research, and I think there's a number of people that, but you have to, Dairy Australia had to find a balance.
Almost 40% voted for no levy. Dairy Australia Chairman Max Roberts said last week the result of the vote was a positive step for the industry. Farmers had given Dairy Australia a mandate to continue providing vital services by voting to lift the levy rate. The levy funds a range of industry services, including on-farm research and development into areas such as pasture productivity, cow productivity, management of grains and farm systems. According to the Australian Farm Institute, agricultural enterprises are almost 2.5 times more at risk than other business sectors in the national economy. Farm volatility rates were well above the next most risky business categories: finance, insurance, construction and mining. The Institute said the level of risk faced by farmers was about double that in overseas agriculture. Australian farmers had learned the hard way about how to be savvy risk managers, according to AFI Executive Director Mick Keogh. But recent debt levels and poor returns on investment were warning lights for the future. Veteran Liberal Senator Bill Heffernan has used very colourful language to describe his own party's proposal to heavily scrutinise overseas companies buying into Australian agriculture. This was because the Liberals were ignoring the real threat posed by foreign government-owned funds buying dirt down under. The federal coalition was proposing to lower the financial threshold that triggered an investigation by the Foreign Investment Review Board. Senator Heffernan said this proposal was more about political cover than addressing the main problem. He said there was startling evidence about the potential for foreign government-backed sovereign wealth funds to buy Australian farms with the aim of shipping production to another country to bypass Australian tax laws. A group of farmers who met through social media channels is using the same technology to connect to city-based consumers. The group, from all around Australia, this week launched Ask an Aussie Farmer on Facebook and a supporting Twitter account. The aim is promote positive farming sector stories and to counter misinformation about farming on some social networking sites. Group moderator, North Queensland cattle producer Kylie Stretton, said last week that now that farmers were on social media, there was no excuse for them not being able to connect with city people. She said that to gain public support, farmers needed to let people know that farmers were environmentally friendly and were managing animals humanely. World trade in fruit, nuts and vegetables has gone into overdrive since 2000. While global business totaled around $25 billion in early 1990s, global fresh fruit and nuts exports reached a gross value of more than $70 billion in 2010. According to the Australian Bureau of Agriculture and Resource Economics and Sciences, Australian growers should concentrate on the avocado, mango and olive markets in the medium term. ABARES also has tipped mango production would rise by 25% to 77,000 tonnes by 2016-17, and olive volume would increase by 10% during the same period. Avocado production was forecast to rise to 70,000 tonnes by 2016-17, an increase that should put a sharp dent in the 15,000 tonnes Australia had imported from New Zealand in 2010. The unseasonably wet weather across eastern Australia is likely to continue for the next 3 months. The National Climate Centre's latest 3-monthly climate outlook is predicting a wetter than average season for much of eastern Australia, and in particular for southeast Queensland. The centre says La Nina is weakening, but warmer sea temperatures are still influencing the weather. This means there will unfortunately be a continuation of what parts of eastern Australia have seen for the last few months, while southern Victoria and Tasmania should be fairly dry.